Hello, here we are with Jagathis, and we are exploring something very special and close to her heart. We had amazing sessions today. We had started with wellness, then we ventured into self exploration, we ventured into the stress and the VUCA world. We were talking about NLP redesign. We had a lot of amazing conversation. As Andrea said, you really need to make some time to listen to all of it. But don't worry until you see me. It will come to your email box if you signed up. We will make it sure that from next year on you will get a nice weekly newsletter coming in with some tips and with the videos that we had in the last 3 years. So happy to have you here, Jagathis. How have you been? And
Thank you
how
very much,
are you? How
Andrea.
is your day so far?
Yeah, thank you, Andrea, for having me. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to all those who are tuning in from all over the world. My name is Jagathis, and I am from Damansara, Kuala Lumpur. In fact, when I was hearing our friend Andrea's speech earlier, his voice was so dynamic, so loud, and so sharp. I was thinking, oh, I'm going to be next after him. You see, that was a bit of a glitch for me. I was telling myself, okay, I'll keep up my strength and my voice. Everything has to go accordingly, right? So here I am with you now. And then yes, Andrea, go
I
on.
just love you, and then don't worry about anything. You are here in a nice, supportive environment. Don't compare yourself to others. We all have our little gem inside, and
Yes,
you are
yes.
as wonderful as you are. So don't worry about anything like that.
No, I
I'm
don't.
so happy to have you here. And
Thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to the conversation. And Emilia
Mm,
is here to support, and we also have other people joining in. Alchan is, of course, here, the main supporters of the summit. Jagathis, we chose a very specific topic, which is about hobbies for health and happiness. And
yes.
I would love to start with a question. How do you maintain your health? First of all, because that's the first part of your title, and how do you make sure that you are caring about yourself and loving yourself, as Andrea Stadthalter was saying earlier.
Yes. Yeah, very true. In fact, for me, health is always the first priority I give to myself. If not for the fitness, or if you are not healthy, you can't do anything in life, right? Since I was a marathon runner at the age of 40 and I stopped marathon running, I was in Kuala Lumpur just after leaving Penang. So in Kuala Lumpur, there wasn't much exposure for me. Therefore, I wasn't taking up any of the marathon or running events since the age of 45. After that, I found myself being bogged down with a lot of work because it's all the new culture in Kuala Lumpur. But I'm talking about 30 years ago. And then it was very challenging for me. I won't use the word stress or even any other word that might make us down and feel very uncomfortable. So I used to tell my children, don't use the word stress on us because it's only accumulating on you, right? So I don't use the word stress at all, but I will challenge whatever that comes along my way. So that's what happened when I was here in Kuala Lumpur 30 years ago at a very tender age, in fact. And then, so it went on until I was like a workaholic. I was a workaholic, in fact. I was really working very hard to find my way out for a better position, to live a better life, a betterment in my life. So that's how I got into my health issue, which is also like, it is disheartening to say that I'm not so fit anymore at the age of 65, but I have two millennial daughters who are very supportive and they do understand my health issue and they are very supportive now. So that is another two pillars that I'm holding on until now. See? So besides that, for me, I am very particular about my mornings. What I do in the morning is my exercise. Every morning without fail, I'm out in the park to do my exercise. And then sometimes if it's raining, I'll make sure I'll do the exercise at home or either evening. If I can't do it in the morning, I'll do it in the evening. And for now, I do not want to talk about the past. It's all over. Now let me talk about the recent and the future. So for the recent time, I got to know another exercise called the Bakwa exercise that is helping Bakwa, Bagua, Bakwa exercise, which is helping me a lot in my health issue. You see, so I don't have to talk about my health like how I used to feel bad and I was very down with those issues. I know some of our friends around in our global empowerment used to call once in a while and ask me, how are you doing, how are you? You know, they are very concerned about me, and I should thank all of them at this point of time. Besides that, I do discipline with my food. Food is also it plays a very important role. I don't munch. I don't simply eat. I have my diet plans, and that's how I used to train my children as well. I don't keep anything in the fridge for them to munch unless they are buying back home some stuffs. But they know if they buy back home, I'm there to to grumble or to say don't eat this and that. So fortunately, my girls are also having good diet habits, but then it's still beyond our control that this taste food is just too much to be controlled.
Yes, and we were talking about this in the morning that the choices that you make, it's just
Mm.
made it so easy to grab or order food at home, right? From
Yeah.
your convenience, and then you get it so fast, you don't even have to cook, you don't see what's
Yes.
inside, and then you take it, and then you just are all overwhelmed with the food instead of preparing your food, instead of making it a kind of like a therapeutic meditation kind of exercise to prepare nice food, or have some meal preparations,
Yeah.
and it's changing the whole thing to make it your process, not just
Yes.
ordering it from somewhere.
Yeah. So each time when the Grab is around at my doorstep, I'll be wondering which one of my daughters ordered for the food. I don't order Grab food at all. But anyways, I'll just eat something light so they know I don't eat much. But I'll share their food. Over the time, I've also disciplined. I do not discipline myself anymore, but eating whatever they have ordered because I've stopped cooking. You see, so I cannot be complaining about them because I'm not cooking at home. If I were to cook just for myself, it's going to go for a waste. So then, but I still choose my food. Like last night, my daughter ordered for a burger. So I told her I don't want burger, I don't want anything to do with bun. I'll just have a chicken. So she ordered 2 pieces of chicken. I had only one. So the other one is still in the fridge. So it's going for a waste, you see. So I'm very particular about my diet, honestly
Nice,
speaking.
nice to see how you care about your health
Yes,
and how you build
from
out
those
these
days.
habits. Yes.
Yeah, that is what I always say. Discipline is very important in everybody's life. And the morning exercise, I've been doing it since I know, like from the age of 30. From the age
Okay,
of 30,
okay.
yeah. Since I got married, I started exercising. And then further to that, well, of course, you need other support, family support. My spouse was very supportive, but now he's not around. So I'm a single woman with two millennial daughters who are very supportive. And then I'm living my life in a very simple way. I'm not under any pressure. I'm not under any stress. I want to live a life, very simple life. That's all I need. And these hobbies have helped me a lot in my
Yeah,
health
let's talk
and
about the
happiness.
hobby part, because we were talking about the health and we were talking about how you keep up yourself. I mean, you
Yes.
have been a model back in the times. You just have been encountering some new experiences by becoming again someone who is in commercials, thanks to Al Chen and all the support. So it's an exciting
Oh yes.
life. It's an exciting time, and you still keep trying new things. So
Yeah,
let's
and
go
yeah.
for the hobbies and the
Yeah.
happiness, and how they relate to each other. Why do you make sure that you are keeping some time for your hobbies?
Yeah. Because why? Now you see, I don't have not. I do. There's nothing next for me to look forward except to keep myself healthy and keep myself occupied because both my girls are away for work and I'm alone. So how do I pass my time? So it's all my those days hobbies that I have been holding dear to my heart. Like the stamp collection is one of them. And then when I went to London just a few months ago, I happened to walk into a restaurant, I mean a cafe, and I saw the way they displayed the stamps was very amazing. It was in a huge frame, photo frame, like just like the frame at the back. It's a huge one. They displayed the stamp and designed it so nicely, and that got my immediately caught my attention. I told myself, okay, I got a project back home. Once I go back home, I know what to do next with my stamps. You see, so these are the hobbies that keeps me happy and healthy. Besides that, I'm also a crazy woman about jigsaw puzzle. And this jigsaw puzzle only lately, about 5 years back, only I started picking up jigsaw puzzle because whenever I go shopping, I am definitely looking out for some puzzles because that's my childhood interest, you see. So then there was once when I was in Mid Valley, I saw this jigsaw puzzle displayed on the wall, and I was looking and staring at it. How on earth someone would have done this puzzle, and how long it would have taken them, and so on. So just it's just an instinct that I told myself, okay, let me check on this jigsaw puzzle for my future interest. So when I asked the saleswoman, she said, she asked me what's your name, and then she wanted my details so that she can send some email. Then she said, Jack, this will take very long. If you are a beginner, you need to really strategize how you want to, start and so on. I say, okay, no problem, I'll go ahead. So I spoke to her, but my daughter was just next to me hearing my conversation, and I did not buy one because I wasn't, it was quite costly at that point of time. It was like the 1,000 pieces itself is $128. So I was thinking, if I'm not ready, if I were to buy, then if I don't do it, I'm gone. I do not want to waste anything. So then I just waited for some time, and my daughter got the 1,000 pieces from for me for my birthday. And she told me, Mommy, I got something. It's all in black and white. You'll have a tough time doing it, but don't rush. Take your time. I say, what did you get for me? And when I saw that box, it just amazes me because it was the big band from London, and
Oh,
I love to go to London every year. So when she gave me this piece of jigsaw puzzle, it just got into a very happy mood for me. And I was thinking, oh my God, now I have to sit and strategize how I'm going to do it. Then, of course, I went online to check on how to get these puzzles fixed if it's more than 1,000. And it says that I have to get this, what they call the separating tray
separators, yes.
separate everything. So I have to sort of get all this stuff. And when I started displaying, I started fixing them. I noticed there's something wrong in my setting, especially for the ages. For the age, you have to be very careful when it's black and white. It can be on the left hand side or right hand side. Almost 30% I've completed, and I couldn't continue because all the right hand side was fixed on the left hand side and the left was on the right hand side. So I was thinking why I cannot continue, what is happening. But I took some time to study and strategize. Then
Yeah,
I
I love the passion that you have, and I think
yeah,
having something like this, like Angela is saying, she wouldn't have the patience to do that. It teaches you so much of commitment, so much of determination. There is so many skills that you can learn with a habit
yes.
like this to slow down. It's kind of a meditative state, even. Like I imagine you are just like focusing on the puzzle and your mind is constantly working, so there's a lot of positive effects which is coming from doing this hobby on a long term, right?
Mm. Yeah, sometimes my aunties will be here. She will be telling, "Are you? How come you are sitting with this? Don't stress yourself. Don't say stress yourself." And sometimes she will call, and if I say I'm not well, she say, "Don't do this jigsaw puzzle. It's very stressful." She will start stopping me. I say it's not the jigsaw puzzle. It's from the bottom of my heart. I enjoy doing it. So nothing to do with the jigsaw puzzle. Otherwise, I'm not well. So she said, whenever she visits me, there's one displayed on my table, halfway down. She said, you never stop doing this. Make sure you are fit, you are fit, you are fit. I say, I'm fit. This keeps me occupying my time and I'm happy to do it. So over the time, my children understood that I'm happy with whatever passions I have. It's always passion that brings you to the top. See?
I really love this saying. I mean, that's something that everyone has to like digest right now. So your passion brings you to the top, because if you are involving in your passion, and if you are doing your passion with full of your heart, and you experience, like we were discussing this the previous days before, the flow of being in this state of doing what you love, you will always search for it, and you will be motivated, and you will be driven by the fact that you can do it again and you can do more, and then it comes the accomplishment, right? So
Yes,
there comes that,
that's
okay,
what
I managed to do this.
the accomplishment is. End of the day, you are very satisfied, you are very happy, you have the motivation, you have the strength, and you are always looking forward for more. See,
And
that's
you
the
have other
ambience.
hobbies. Let's just talk also about other hobbies, because that's just one of your hobbies. Like you mentioned, collecting brief marks, and collecting stamps. And then you have a lot of things that you are doing. But you have also something that is connected to the digital transformation. And I'm so proud of you. And I'm so loving it that you embraced this and you started something.
Yeah, actually, if I were to talk about my passion about hobbies and whatnot, there's a lot of things that I can talk about. But for now, my next hobby is to talk about photography, and that photographic has turned out to be my ebook. And the ebook and also the rest of the photos that I've been taking for the ebook is all from your platform that I learned from other participants that I was sort of engaging with them, and then they are very friendly. They also advise me what to do, how to go about it, and it all comes from your platform, Andrea. That I have to emphasize here again and again, that whatever I'm doing today, or a person like who I am right now, is all from your platform, and all the friends all over the world. They have been helping me a lot. To name one or two of them, it's Sham, Osuji, Sinfong. They were all behind me to help out with my first ebook, Hobbies for Health and Happiness. Was a very amazing ebook that I've written, and my family members, my children, they're all proud of what I've done for the first book. And it's going to be my legacy as well. I'm going to keep all this and cherish them. And then I was wondering how to keep all this as a savings if in my absence. Then I also read about it. They said I can keep in a gift box. It's a big gift box. Keep everything that I want to share with my children or anyone who might be interested. Don't expose it in the hall or anywhere else, because I have few things that I like to leave it in my hall, hoping that the youngsters who are coming into my house, especially my nephews and nieces, I will hope for them to take and see and ask me questions. But none of them have any hobbies, neither they are not interested in what I'm doing. So it upsets me quite a lot when I want to initiate something, nobody is taking the attention, paying attention. I was thinking how am I going to drive all my interest into them. Then when I read about it, they say you cannot do it anymore because now it's all the digital era. And then so it says that I should get a gift box, a nice gift box, put everything that I have in my savings, especially the coin collection, the stamps, the ebooks, everything, print, copy, keep into the box and leave it as a sealed, and it's a sealed box, and also like a gift box, with the ribbon, whatever. Have a nice box, leave it in the hall. So then I said, wow, that's a great idea. And then it also says that that box will be opened one day by my children when they want to know, in my absence, they want to know about some of my background, or they want to share it with anyone else, their friends who are coming to visit them in the house. That's the time they'll open and see. and then they will cherish whatever you have done. So I was so
I love
happy.
it. This is such a
Yeah,
good idea. I mean, leaving
yes,
something behind and the legacy, and then leaving it in a box, and then people can just. It was. I remember in Hungary. I don't know how it is in Asia. We have this specific stone or a specific thing that in big buildings or schools or something that is very special. They always put something in a tube, a
hmm,
paper, and what it was and who has been doing it, and they
yes,
ground it in the ground below the building. So once the
yes,
building destroyed, these things can come up, and then they are there for the future, for leaving a
yeah.
legacy, right?
Yeah, for Indians, we have to, we not to have to. If we want, we can do it for the temple. The
Hmm.
temple, they are asking for donations, so we can give some of our savings and they will engrave it or even they will seal it in between the walls with our names, everything. And that is also part of the initiative
Look
for,
at this. Aljan is calling
yes.
it Jack's Pandora box.
Pandorama box, yes, I saw that.
That's so nice.
Yeah,
So
yes.
at the end of the conversation, because I see Cynthia is coming up, so I would like to
Okay.
just summarize everything what we talked about. So what would you advise for people, for youngsters? You would like to talk to youngsters. So what would you like to emphasize? What are the three things that people can gain or do with hobbies and taking care of their health? What would be your mainstream message after these 30 minutes?
Okay. I have three key factors of success. One is determination, dedication, and discipline. If a person who can have these three in their life, then there's nothing to worry about their progression or even in their career. They will be doing better off. If they do, if you see, when I ask any of my friends children, what is your hobby, they don't have a hobby. They are only concerned about the computer and the internet. That is what they are talking about. So I have to upgrade myself, my skills with this area, so that I'm also equivalent to them and we have a common interest and we are able to talk to them in a very, in a general manner. And that's where they engage me. We can engage with them and they are happy to have me anywhere in a crowd, so that it works both ways. So for me, the three key factors of success will be: you have to be determined, dedicate, and disciplined, and also to top up with one main ingredient is the time management. You have to have the time management with all these three, otherwise nothing is going to happen. They will always say tomorrow, tomorrow, or later, later. I don't like to hear the word tomorrow or later. For me, I'm a very disciplined person. Anywhere I go, I try to emphasize this to the children. Fortunately, my girls have seen me how I raised myself or how I keep myself, and they are both of them. I do not have to teach them, but they discipline themselves by seeing my attitude. Yeah,
You were
I,
the role model.
yeah, yeah, I'm the role model for them. Of course, the parents have to do it for their children. Otherwise, nothing can happen. They'll be doing their own things. They feel that what they are doing is right. You see, I give you a very small example. When my husband and I, we get our salary, we will put it on the table, and then we will have all the used envelope. I count all the expenses like electricity bill, whatever bill we used to put the cash, and keep it aside. So my childrens will be, sort of, they are very engrossed to know what are we doing. So the following month, I let them do, okay, these are the expenses. You know how much I'm earning, how much your father earns. These are the expenses back, and then whatever balance is for our leisure time or whatever we want to do. So that small attitude that I bring instill into my children's heart, until today, they know what to do. They get their salary first thing, they settle all the banking matters before they think of spending for their own. So this is what I would like to tell all parents. It's the children's will learn from the parents. That's all we have to do.
Thank
We
you so
cannot
much.
blame
It's
our children.
such
Yeah.
an amazing closure of this 30 minutes conversation, and I'm so happy to have you here. I am amazed by your discipline and your determination and your self actualization. I'm really, really loving to have you in this community. Those who are watching, Jag was one of the person and the first person who ever joined the Hubbers and the community. And that time we called ourselves um, differently, but it's just a beautiful journey, and I'm so thankful for you because people like you are making a community work, because you become the role model of the community. So I'm really, really happy you are not just a role model for your children, but you are also a role model for the Empowerment Hub community. We would like to have more Jags here. More people who engage actively, who are here, who are doing what they say and walking the talk. So thank you
Yes.
so much for that, Jack. I really appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Andrea. This is my third year with you. It's a great pleasure, and I enjoy every session that is conducted for the rest of them. Thank you very much, and have a
Thank you
nice
so much. And
Okay.
I see Cynthia coming up, so I will say goodbye to you and I will bring
Okay.
up Cynthia to the
Thank
studio.
you.
Have a beautiful day, have a nice rest, and see
Okay.
you very, very soon, Jack.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Andrea. Thank
See
you
you.
all.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.
All right, so switching speakers and experts again. It's very exciting having Cynthia here soon. Until I'm setting up the studio, I will just tell you this is the last session this afternoon, and then we will go on a little bit of break, and we will come back around 4 p.m. with other exciting speakers. That session will last until the evening. We will finish late night, 10:30, because we have so many things to give you, and all these information will trigger you, and hopefully it will bring a positive transformation into your lives. So let me bring up Cynthia, and then we are changing the banners and starting with another amazing conversation. So welcome, Cynthia. How are you today?
Hi, Andrea. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm
After
good. I'm
after
just
the entire full morning and afternoon.
yeah, I started to feel like at the session with Charm, I was like
Mm.
putting her on one screen, and I was like just
Yeah, I saw
escaping a
that.
little bit to get some walnuts. I didn't really. I have to work on this one because there's no break in between, so there I made a mistake in the scheduling. So next time I know I need to have some time to get some snacks and to get my energies up. So welcome in the studio. I'm so happy to have you here. And we are talking about something that is really close to my heart. I love to talk about happiness, and I believe we all have it in ourselves, and we just have to find it. So I'm so happy to talk about this with you. But before we get there, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are, and yes, what's your calling? What is your purpose?
Sure. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you're tuning in from. And my name is Cynthia Pinga. I am a happiness coach and founder of Debugging Minds with my husband. So, just a short background of what our company does. At Debugging Minds, we actually help people transform themselves to actually live their dreams and possibilities. And we do this through webinars, even certain trainings, one-to-one coachings as well. But before all this started, right? Oh yes, before I get into that, make sure you stay to the end of this session because I have some freebies to give y'all. Okay, so before all of this started, right, I was this typical person. Now, I was born and raised in Perlis. If you do not know where Perlis is, it is the very north state of Malaysia. Andrea, I'm not sure if you've been there.
Yeah, I
Um,
have been. I have been.
Oh yay! Not many people, go there actually. So I was this person who, followed the flow of going to school, graduate, and then get a job. Everybody goes through this. But while I was in this journey of life, I was always looking for my purpose, for my mission. I always, look at things of how I can actually upgrade myself, how I can improve myself. I think yesterday we had this panel discussion on personal growth, and I mentioned that we should always upgrade ourselves, just the way like how we upgrade our laptops, our phones, and the software in our phones, right? So I was always on this upgrading myself, learning new things, and seriously, I got into a bunch of whole different things, all right. um, and I always felt that there was this calling for me to help people experience happiness, because whether we like it or not, no matter how rich or poor you are, no matter whether you're sad or happy or whatever emotion that you've gone through the day, at the end of the day, you want to, be happy and have a fulfilled life. So here I am. Yeah. And
It's really good to hear that you are embracing life as it is, and you are trying to figure out new ways. And I love your curious mind, because I know that how does it feel when you go to bed and you are still just thinking about what has happened to me and how can I put that all in my life and how can I
Mhm.
improve and how will I do this and how will I upgrade tomorrow. These are all questions that people normally don't see, but it's all going on behind the scenes and in our minds. No matter what we do, it's just coming back, especially if you are driven like us. So
Yeah.
Cynthia, what do
Yeah.
you do first when you are searching for your happiness DNA? How do you find that? How do you figure it out? What exactly is your message with the title?
Okay, so I like to look at life. I like to look at things even from this bigger picture, right? Look at it from a bigger picture, and just like how Jack was saying earlier, she had this 1,000 puzzle pieces to put in, right? This big picture sometimes we might not be able to comprehend at the beginning, but we are all these small puzzle pieces, and we are all interconnected with each other. And when I look at this happiness, how I actually came out with this topic, in fact, is that I used to tell people, because I read a lot of things, right? And whenever people are feeling down, or they're not in a good state, I'd always go and tell them that, be happy. Happiness comes from within. And then they look at me and they give me this look like, yeah, I was happy about this situation, because they're not in that state to actually be happy at that point. And as I actually search and research and learn this subject of happiness and what it really means that happiness comes from within, is that it really really starts from within, in in your cells. I mean, your body cells. And that's how I came up with this happiness DNA. Now, what happens is that in our DNA, there's something known as genes, right? And um, let me explain this to you. Now, in our brain, we have something known as neurons, right? Some of you may know it, but there's these cells in our brains which are known as neurons. Now, don't worry if you don't know what neurons look like. I just want you all to imagine this. Those wire cables that you see outside, right? Those big wire cables. Um, Look at these wire cables and just imagine that at the end of these wire cables, they're just like wiggling like this, right? And every time you think about something, or there's a certain thinking pattern, or a decision that you make, these wire cables tend to go and connect with each other, right? And these are what we call neuron connections. And every time you think, there's neuron connections that's been made. And if you keep thinking in the same pattern, then the previous neuron connections are just going to be, thicker cables, right? So you have the thinner cables, and then you have the thicker cables coming up. Just perhaps let me give you an example. You see, everyone has a thinking pattern, right? Now, if I say chocolate, what comes to your mind? And I know you're hungry right now. But
Dark chocolate. I think dark chocolate. I love cacao and 100% dark chocolate. Yummy,
oh,
yummy.
great. Actually, you're just like my husband. When I say chocolate, he says, dark chocolate, because, milk chocolate has all this, added sugars and all this stuff. But to some people, chocolate is like, chocolate cake. It's yummy. But it's two. Does it make it wrong? It's not. It's just two different thinking patterns. Now, if I say traffic jam, what would you think? Some
India.
people.
All those pictures going around with all these motorbikes and
Nice. And people who are usually stuck in traffic jam are those people who sometimes they feel very frustrated. They get very angry even before they go to work, right? But for me and some of my friends, apparently, um, I when I was in KL, I kind of like the traffic jam simply because for me it was like a me time. That's the time where, if I want to sing, practice my vocal cords or whatever, who cares if I go out of pitch, because I'm there with myself, right? So these are different thinking patterns, and everyone have their own kind of thinking patterns, right? And the more happier thinking patterns you have, the more neuron connections you have. And these thinking patterns actually would affect the genes in your DNA. And we know that as humans, DNAs can be passed down, it can be inherited, right? Now, it doesn't matter whether, if you're in the stage of childbearing or not, or if you pass that stage of not possible way for you to actually pass down this DNA. The thing is that, you see, there was this one research done by David Licken, right? And his research actually said that well-being and happiness is at least 50% inherited. Now, even if you like I mentioned, if you're not in this stage of childbearing whatsoever, by having these happy neuron connections in your brain simply means that you become a happier person. And I think, Andrea, you have that, because I've never seen you frown every time every time I talk to you, you're always smiling. Yeah. And some people would come and tell me, like, okay, so it's just 50% inherited of happiness. But what about if I inherited bad genes, say 70 to 80% of bad genes? It doesn't matter, guys, because as long as you even have, say, 10% of something which you can control, it's something that you can always do. And we are always moldable, we can always grow, out of that. And I think this was the concept that I wanted to put in my topic here today, that your happiness starts from within, in your DNA. It can be inherited, otherwise, you just turn out to be this amazing happy person, right? Yeah.
okay. And if you are not a happy person, or if you are inherited all this little bit more negative environment, a little bit harder past, a little bit being always in this situation, I mean, how do those people go about it? What can they do to adapt, and how can they change maybe mindset, or switch? Can they switch between happiness DNA and something less happy?
Yes, definitely. Like I said earlier, right? Even if it's just, you inherited those bad genes, you still can, because the fact that even if you have 1% in your power to change yourself, we are human, and there's this. I think very recently there's this study of neuroplasticity, which is, I know I'm getting a little bit, a bit technical here, but what does it actually mean is that our brain is very plastic, and we know that plastics are very moldable, and as humans, we are actually very moldable, right? Yeah. And so it doesn't matter if you actually have bad genes, you can actually um, change that, right? And how do we do that is, firstly, is by changing our thinking patterns. Now, it's going to be a little bit harder for those of you who, say, like Andrea say, let's say you're born with a little bit of negative, not so good genes, but um, you can actually change your thinking patterns, because it's not just the neurons that's in your brain. There's a lot of other things that's happening. Don't even ask me, but there's a lot of hormones and cells that's facilitating and making sure that your body is actually functioning. And these are all just these are just triggers. So what can you actually do to change your thinking pattern, in order to change this, or to we call it rewire yourself, okay, rewire these neurons in your brain, is to change your lens, to change your perspective when you look at things. Sometimes people fall into a certain situation that is maybe very emotional, right? For example, let me tell you a story perhaps. When I started dating my husband, I was very young. I was about like 18, and I think it's very normal that at a young age, I think Asian parents, especially, they wouldn't want their child to actually, get into dating at a very young age. Um, and I actually had this one person who I could always talk to, and I would go to this person and talk to this person, and at times he will always tell me this, that I know it feels that you're going through all this, and your parents doesn't want you to don't want you to actually date at this young age. But try to look at it from their perspective. If they're saying this, then there must be something that they think that is good for you. So try to look at at their perspective. Now, at that age, of course, I was very young, and it's not easy for you to actually look from a parent's perspective. Now that I am a parent, I think I can kind of make the connection of why my parents did what they did. But one thing that I did at that point was I did not shut down that thought. I did not shut down that, what, I don't care about what they think or what their perspective is. I kept it open. And I think because I kept it open, I was able to go through life. And, as I grow up, as I increase my self awareness, I was able to actually see things from their perspective. So it's all a matter of changing your lens, perhaps reframing events. And this can be anything at all. It can be, if you're having an argument with your boss, or maybe a miscommunication with a spouse, or family issues, parent-child, or sibling issues, some age gap issues, and they fight with them, fight with a friend. It is your ability to look from different perspective which would actually change this entire situation, this entire event that you're looking things for. So the how to, would be, how do you actually change this thinking pattern? Is, you see, if you're in an event, or if a situation happened where you were emotionally hurt, or it was a very very strong emotion that happened, right? um we tend to replay this situation in our head. Have you guys had that, right? You feel hurt, and then you go down and you're all alone, or something triggers. These things starts to get triggered in your brain, and you kind of keep repeating in that. It's like a movie. But what I want you to do is that next time, try this. That whenever you have this movie repeating in your head, this whole scenario, instead of being inside and feeling that hurt all the time, look at it from an observer's point of view. Just watch the movie like how you go to the cinema and watch the movie. Watch it, look at it from an observer's point of view. Don't be judgmental about it. And then reflect and ask this question: what's good in this? Is there any lesson that I can learn from this? Was it really my fault? Was it really the other person's fault? If it was my fault, what actually can I learn from it? Is there anything that I can improve? Because this is how we improve. A lot of times people don't want to think about it because they prefer to be in their head. They prefer to be comfortable with their current way of thinking, right? um, and they're just scared, or maybe scared of the truth. Or if I start reflecting, maybe it will reflect on me that, okay, I was bad in this situation, and I don't want to listen to that truth, right? Yeah, but this is how you change that way of thinking. That's how you reconnect or rewire those neuron connections. And this is one way that you can actually be happier in your life. Sometimes there's nothing that you can do about the event or the situation that has passed, but there is always something that you can do to move forward. A lot of time people are just stuck with that movie in their head, and that is it. They don't reflect on it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very popular life coaching exercise to change your own movie. It's a very, very nice thing to do. That I remember when I was doing my coaching certification, it was the exercise of building your life story. And then
Mm-hmm.
you had to build together like a real plot, the whole movie from the beginning until the end with the climax and everything. And then after you are working on the new way, the new movie, the new life, and the new movie that you want to live, and it's kind of giving you a nice beautiful big picture about who you were before and who you want to be, and then
Yep.
you just have to work on getting there. And this gives such a, there's so many nice tools to just to use when you are starting a journey like this. And searching for your happiness DNA is definitely something, looking inwards,
Yes.
finding all these things, the root causes of your problems. I was in lean management before, so for me, asking 5 whys and then going to the root cause with the fish diagram and all these kind of things,
Right.
it's very funny. But all those A3s and all these fishbone diagrams and all this can be related to life too, because in your personal life you are having the same things, and why would you think that you don't have to dig deep and find the root cause to solve something? I mean, that's just so irrelevant. You really have to do the work. Like you
Yeah.
cannot skip this to go down and to work on it, unless you are already over it and you made your peace with it and you can leave it behind and you don't need
Mm-hmm.
to worry about it. But if it's triggering you, if it's happening to you, then it's best to go until you find the root cause. I'm so loving the analogy that you have here with the rewiring and then making ourselves and our brain stronger by the neuroplasticity, by the lot of opportunities that we haven't even explored from the humankind. And with the new technologies coming up, uploading and downloading our brain and all these
Yes.
crazy ideas coming up with it's just like it never stops. You have to be so curious and you have to adapt all the time. So, coming towards the end of the conversation and the second part of the conversation, I would love to ask you about the practical part, because I love to give the people practical advice, not just to talk
Mhm.
about it, but to give them a roadmap kind of thing.
Right.
What can they do to find this happiness DNA within, and how can they start, and what's the journey?
Okay, I think one main thing, okay, the first thing is, rewiring yourself, looking at things from a different perspective. Another thing is that these are some components that I'm going to share with you that is very, very crucial to you being happy. Okay. And the first thing is be kind and compassionate to yourself. A lot of times we are always very hard on ourselves, right? And in certain situations, do understand that you are human and we make mistakes. Okay. and and it's okay. The whole point of making mistakes is, so that you can actually learn from things. If you don't make mistakes, everything is perfect. Just like our last session, life is going to be boring, right? So be kind and be compassionate to yourself. Sometimes we put too much of high expectation on ourselves, and when we don't get it, we get frustrated, right? And you keep asking, why is this happening to me? Now the second thing is gratitude. Now this is easy. Okay, so I'm not going to spend so much time on this. Gratitude. I, literally just, you don't have to wait for Thanksgiving. In Malaysia, we don't really even celebrate Thanksgiving, but just be grateful and thankful every day for all the small things. Now, it's easy for you to be grateful for things that you can see, but sometimes you forget the blessings, the grace, the things that we cannot see. For example, like the way that I started off with gratitude was to say, let's say, thank you for the internet. Yeah, I'm so loving the internet today. It's so stable. Yeah. But that is something that you can see as a result of, right? And what you actually don't see is that I start thinking back, okay, who actually created it? What was needed to actually have this? And then I start thinking about people who, those engineers, the fiber optics guy, the guy who came and installed my internet. And I just thank these people, just from within, from my heart. You don't have to go there and thank them because you have no idea who these people are. But just sending them this blessing to say that yes, because of you guys, I had this today. You kind of go to the next level of gratitude, right? So now this is easy to do. And this third thing is something which I do want to spend some time on it. I hope I hope I can get it done in the next 10 minutes or so. Um, the third component of really having a good, a happy life and fulfilled life is forgiveness. Now, um, like I mentioned, right, when you have or you're in a situation of, hurt or pain, where this movie is always triggering in your head, um, there must be a time, or you were actually got hurt or offended, and that is why it keeps triggering in your head. And most of the time people don't think of this component of forgiveness, right? But if you were to actually have a happy fulfilled life, it's important for you to practice forgiveness. And let me share with you this misconception or myth of forgiveness. People would think forgiveness as, it's about the other person. That's one. Secondly, they'll think that, if I forgive this person, that means I'm okay with what happened. But that is not it. Forgiveness is never really about the other person. Forgiveness is always about you. It's about how you um, don't put much energy in just actually holding that unforgiveness within yourself. So it's more of, when you forgive, it's you are actually releasing yourself with all that anger and hatred, and it changes the way of emotional projections that you have on that memory, on that movie that you have in your head. And forgiving a person doesn't mean that you're okay with what happened. You're just saying that, I forgive you. There will still be consequences, either for you or for me, but I'm just letting you go, and that's okay to me. That doesn't mean that I'm okay with what happened. I'm just letting you go. I am just releasing you from all this. I don't want to feel anything. So, so what actually you can do is that when you start having this movie and this hurt keeps coming back and all that, what you can do is this: say, I forgive you. Now, in my coaching sessions, I usually go through, there are a few ways, to go through this forgiveness practice. Uh, but the easiest way is that every time something triggers you, every time the memory triggers you to this hurtful situation or whatever it may be, just say, I forgive you. Now, it's not going to be, I forgive you, and that's it. You're forgiven next day. This memory and everything is going to come again, and forgiveness is a repeated process. It has you have every time it triggers you, just say, I forgive you. All right. And you will one day realize that if you practice this, the next time that this thing triggers, um, you will not feel as much hurt as you did the first place, right? And at one point, when the memory comes, and if you don't really feel anything much, then you know that you have done most of this forgiveness process with that person or with that situation, and that is how you practice it. So,
Love it. And we heard a lot of things in this session. We were starting with the happiness DNA, that people have sometimes a very happy life and they inherit the happiness DNA. Lalita was mentioning that in India there is something which is believed that if a happy woman has a happy pregnancy and they are happy while they have the child, then the kid will inherit this happiness and they will be like, I would say I'm a love child. I have been created in a night of the after marriage, so it's a honeymoon kiddo. So I believe that that also contributing to who I am today, and to be someone who have been loved and have been waited, it also gives a very good start for life. But there is also solution for those who are coming from different circumstances, and there is a way to rewire your brain. And I think that was your main message here,
yeah,
that okay, you can have your DNA, you can have something that is given. It's like we have our body. I will not never have 2 meter long legs, but in the meantime I can be grateful for what I have and forgive myself and others for doing something to me, and then it will give me freedom to rewire my brain, to create something new, and to inherit, and this is more important, I guess,
yeah,
to inherit the happiness DNA to the next generation, to my
that's
kids,
right.
so that I free
Yeah.
myself from all the burden and all the baggages, right?
Yeah, and I think that's very true as well. Now I just want to add on this, if we have time. The Dalai Lama said that, as humans, when we were born, we are this kind, gentle, and compassionate person, right? And that is true, because when I look at my kids, this is, they come with a,
Sure.
with an empty slate, and empty slate, right? And you see that they are kind, they're gentle, they're compassionate. But as we go through life, we kind of forget this. But if on our deathbed we are still this human who are kind, gentle, and compassionate, and we want to leave this world in a peaceful manner, at that point, on our deathbed, we are going to forgive anyone and everyone anyway.
So
So
why don't we do it earlier?
yeah, why not, you start the process right now, instead of waiting at that last moment, yeah. And as I was actually preparing for this session, this sentence or thought just came in to my head. And this is it: if you're not ready to die tomorrow, there is something that you're not doing right today. Let me repeat that. If you're not ready to die tomorrow, there is something you're not doing right today. Quote unquote, Cynthia Pina. So, it simply means that, if there's something that you're not doing, if you're not ready to die tomorrow, that means there's something that you're hanging on to today. Maybe it's that unforgiveness. Maybe you're hanging on to your, that 1 million bank savings account that you have. It's time to detach and, do something about it. Yeah, because at the end of the day, if you can do this, then you would have lived a very happy and fulfilled life. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think this has been a great session. A lot of new wisdom nuggets that we have to digest, as I say always. So I'm so happy to have you on stage and bringing all your happiness. And then I see the child in you. I see the happy child still there. And I'm so happy to
Thank
see
you.
people when they are keeping their inner child awake and having this pureness and happiness and bringing it on stage. And I'm so happy to feature you here. And then think it's time for your freebies and for the time that we are. I will share the link, but you can explain a little
Yep.
bit about it, what it is, and yeah, what can the people find at the end of this link.
Okay. So I think, okay, once, and they'll post the link to you guys. There are all these freebies, which actually how you can. There's one ebook, how to get from where you are to where you want to be, and then there's also this two um, trainings. These are free trainings. It's just for you guys, how to manage your time and how to be unstoppable, how you can take charge of your day, beat mediocrity, and stay focused, and how to be a top performer by managing your time. And there's this planner which you can download as well for your own self development. This week is all about personal growth, so I'm very happy to gift this to you guys. And do go to the website and check it out, as well as you will also find some upcoming events on the website. So please go and check it out. There's this one event which is, I think, very important: review, reflect, recalibrate. It's an event where you actually review your year. We are towards the end of the year, and I think companies have done their KPI, their appraisals, and all that. But have you done it for yourself? This is time to see.
You see that on my table there, right there. That's my
Yeah,
2023.
and that's nice. You started. That's good. Yeah. So for those of you who haven't started, please, join us and see what's your win, your hits that you've gotten this year, what the mistakes and that you can learn from this year. Because again, this is how we grow. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please join the session. And this is something that I learned from my past. I'm always doing this. It's not just my year end. I do this almost every single day because Cynthia knows when you are driven, when we are having all this hyperactive, wired brain that wants to do something new and explore something new. Every single day we learn something. So imagine when I do these summits and I do it for 6 weeks and listening to so many people at the same time, my
Mhm.
brain is burning, guys. My brain is really burning. And I want you to experience this when you are meeting with 100 speakers or 125 speakers as of today and of this at this summit. Then there is really a very small chance that you will not be triggered by some of the speakers to have a transformation or to start a change. It's really fantastic because everyone has a different style. Everyone is so coming from a different perspective and so inspiring that if you rewatch these sessions or you are with us throughout these weekends, there will be a point when you will feel, okay, now it's time for me to go to Cynthia's session. And now it's time to check out my 2023 and how I will do it, right?
Yeah, that is true. I see a lot of comments, a lot of comments in the comment section. Thank you very
Yeah,
much,
they all
guys.
love
I'm
your
so happy.
sessions. They really love your
Yeah.
sessions, but I think it's all about they are conversing, they are digesting. So I really just put them out very shortly because I really like the comment section to be themselves, to be on their
Mhm.
own. I see the dynamism between the different participants talking to each other, and it helps to digest the session. So there were no questions, but guys, if you have questions, please put it up, and Cynthia will check on this live stream later.
Yeah, you can
And,
also connect with me on LinkedIn, DM me there, no problem.
and you also have the sessions. So one more time, the freebies, I will put it up. It's already in the comments, so you just can scroll up and you can click on the links. But if you want to reach out for Cynthia, I think the best is the website debuggingminds.com, and then you can search for events. So reach out if you need some help. And thank you so much, Cynthia, for being here. And thank you
Thank you so
for
much, Andrea.
giving your Saturday, part of your Saturday to others and empowering others.
Sure, no problem. Thank you very much, Andrea, for this opportunity. Go have your break, take care of yourself, and stay blessed. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I will be a short video, and then I'm coming back with explaining what's happening after this session and after the break. So let's just get into that. Well, every time I'm looking at all these speakers, I'm just so amazed. Thank you so much, guys. This event, I cannot emphasize it more, couldn't happen without you, without your contribution, without coming here, showing up, being ready in the studio right before your talks. And I'm just super grateful. As Cynthia said, I have to express my gratitude to all the 125 speakers supporting, and also those who are showing up in the comments and supporting each other, and also the audience who has shown the interest to watch these videos and to learn from them. So thank you guys for showing up for yourself and for others. And you remember the tagline, we empower you, you empower others. That's how it starts. Next up, we will have a little break. I will come back around 4 p.m. with other sessions. We will have Awaken Your Authentic Self with Crystal. We have Self-Awareness through Emotional Intelligence with Vedika. We have Global Leaders Thrive from Carrie Benedette. We have Zero to Hero with Lidita. So this is the next part. And then we have the evening session. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you for being here. I hope you feel as empowered as I feel. And I already showed you that I'm already working on my next year, because I really get inspired every single year when I'm doing this and bringing so many beautiful and amazing and talented and heart-centered, which is for me the most important, high integrity and heart-centered experts in front of you, so that you can have access to quality knowledge and you can start your own transformation. So thank you so much, guys. I'm looking forward to the next sessions. I will have a little break, my lunch, and don't forget about the game. We have a game going on. We already put up new questions, so you can go and check out this link, www.gwt and then GES22. If you go there, you will find the new questions. You can fill them out, and the winners will get some nice prizes at the end of the whole summit. So we will announce the winners on the 27th of November. Thank you, guys. I will not keep you up, and I will also have my refreshing time, and we'll see you later. And keep on checking out the website, keep on rewatching the session, and don't forget, you learn, then you apply, and then you transform. You cannot skip. The hard work is all on you. We are just opening doors. It's up to you to take the opportunity. And thank you so much, Krishan, Betty, and Cynthia, and Anjali, and Angela, and Krishan, and Lalita, and Andreas, and everyone else, Justin, for tuning in. Have an amazing afternoon, and see you very, very soon with some other amazing sessions. Bye-bye. Bye, guys, and enjoy your afternoon.
Hi everyone, guess what? The third Global Empowerment Summit is coming in just a few months. Have you booked your seats yet? Have you? If you haven't, the time is now. Because remember guys, opportunities don't just happen, do they? We need to create them. So level up right now, book your seats and join me and the rest of the speakers. Come for the amazing content that is going to help you rise up and impact others. And stay for the amazing friendships you're going to make. The networks you're going to build, not just locally but globally. See you guys there. Bye.